Welcome again into our series of lectures this Ramadan. In this series, we're going to look at the teachings of Prophet Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam to his son. I know and I believe that if this teaching is really applied in our various homes, the social problem that we face in the world today will be solved. Inshallah, I want you to follow us on this series. Bismillah. إن الحمد لله نشكره ونستغفره ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Still on the teachings of Prophet Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam to his son, and then he continued on this, after teaching the son the relationship between him and Allah, the relationship between him and the parent. Now, establishment in the prayers between him, act of worship and Allah, and to also enjoin the right and forbid the wrong. The next teaching is going to be on the, to relate and behave to others in the community in a good manner. So we now go to back to the Quran, Surah Luqman, verse 18 and 19, which says, وَلَا تُصَاحِرْ خَدَّاكَ لِلنَّاسِ وَلَا تَمْشِي فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرْحًا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ كُلَّ مُخْتَالٍ فَخُورٍ وَلَا وَاقْصِدْ فِي مَشْيِكَ وَاغْضِضْ مِنْ صَوْتِكَ إِنَّ أَنْكَارَ الْأَصْوَاتِ لَصَوْتُ الْحَمِيرِ. So these are the last two teachings of the Prophet to his son. You see, in this episode of the teaching, he talked about the character which we need to establish within our homes. A child that is born as a new baby knows nothing. It came with a very new default, like they say, a default mind. Like Allah said, وَالنَّفْسِ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. That soul is created in an innocent form, and فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا, and Allah showed that soul what can destroy her and what can establish the soul. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا, and those who follow the path of cleansing, continuous cleansing of their soul, will definitely benefit from it. وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا, and for those who engaged in destroying the soul shall also meet destruction. Now, we have to train our kids, our children, in a manner that they are humble and they don't establish any form of complex, whether superiority complex or inferiority complex. They don't feel superior to people, to children whose parents are not so affluent like their own parents. They didn't look down on them. They don't go into the street and look down on the children of those. In fact, they don't look down on the children of the of the gate man. They don't even look down on the gate man as well. Because no matter what they are, at that point, the gate man is still richer than them. And again, when they get to the company of those children whose father have affluence, they don't look inferior. They don't look at themselves as inferior. So you have to train your children in such a way that they don't establish any form of complexes, whether inferiority complex or superiority complex. So Prophet Luqman alayhi salatu wasalam told his son, La tusa'ir khaddaka linnas. Don't raise your cheek. Don't feel arrogant. Don't feel big. Don't feel on top. Don't feel more superior amongst men. Because even again, وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. This heart, this world, Allah rotates it. You know, those who you feel that you are bigger than, you are more than, you have more affluence than them, Allah can change decision. They can be the one to dictate. So when you feel bigger, when you feel too big for them, and when Allah changed the situation, what happened? So let us train our children to be humble, not to be timid. They are not timid, but they have to be humble. He said, وَلَا تَمْشِي فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرْحًا. Do not walk in such an arrogant manner. When when you walk with utmost humility. When the Prophet was described, he said that, Mashiyu Haina Sayyidun Dikuhu Tabasumu al-Mashi Yu'aina wa Naumu Yagfa. He said, the Prophet is Sayyidun, a leader. Dikuhu Tabasumu. When the Prophet, when he smiles, he doesn't laugh, he smiles. Tabassumu, he smiles. Wal mashiyu, and when he walks, u'ayna, he walks with humility. The Prophet ﷺ was an epitome of humility. In fact, humility personified. One thing that you will never see anyone arrogate with the Prophet is pride and arrogance. The Prophet was never an arrogant person. The Prophet is always humble. The Prophet is always, humble in his speech, humble in his food, in his feeding, humble in everything. وَنَوْمُهُ, and even when he sleeps, الْغِفَاهُ, is always light. So when you want to walk, when you move, you walk with humility, not with pride. Because in Allah la yuhibbu kulla mukhtarin fakhur. And the Prophet, Allah never loved those who brag. Those who brag. What you brag about is a function of the mercy of Allah, which Allah can withhold. Allah can withhold it. يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ وَيَبْسُطُ. Allah can leave His risk in abundance, and He can also withhold it. So always have at the back of your mind that whenever you do something, whenever you are blessed with something, know that it is Allah's mercy, it is Allah that has given you the honor, which He can decide to withhold. May Allah not withhold our risk. May we not be disgraced. May we not be disgraced. Our family may not be disgraced. We pray Allah Ta'ala. And then He hates those who are boastful. Allah never loved a boastful person. May Allah make us see the light, Allah, the truth. Arina al-haqqa, akka warzuqna ittiba', wa arina al-batil, batil warzuqna ijtinaba. Let us see the truth and recognize it as the truth, and give us the wherewithal to be able to follow it. And let us see falsehood and see it as falsehood, and also recognize it as falsehood and be able to abstain from it. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لي ولكم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.